We'll be reading two statements after which we'll be taking question. But after this press conference, I would also like to invite the press that we have a presentation to make. We'll be awarding the 6 top national grade 6 students after this. So I'll invite the press to wait back and do this. So GS, over to you.
Thank you very much. The party has noted the many public statements and editorials calling on the PPPC government and the People's Progressive Party to hold local government elections. However, the critical question is GECOM's readiness. GECOM has made the claim that enough groundwork and consultations were done to ascertain boundaries countrywide, declaring publicly that there are 585 constituencies. It is therefore expected that we should have 585 lists of electors in order to hold local government elections in the 71 local authority areas. The PPP is not confident that this has been done thoroughly so as to ensure that every eligible voter will be correctly placed on his or her constituency list. Therefore, it is our contention that GECOM should do physical verifications within the communities and invite the political party representatives to ensure that everyone is placed on their respective lists, thus allowing for a fair and transparent process whenever elections are called, something the PPP believes every Guyanese wants and should be respected by GECOM. For example, when one looks at Diamond New Scheme, registration unit number 412221, GECOM's figures for the 2011 elections stated that this unit has a registered voter population of 4,504. GECOM proposes to break this extremely large voters list of this registration unit into 14 smaller lists and then place the voters into 3 constituencies. This is something that GECOM had committed to do in preparation for local government elections in 2010, which was aborted on the request of the PNCR. We are reliably informed that GECOM does not have these constituency lists available to date. It is our view that since the 6th cycle of continuous registration has recently concluded and GECOM is preparing to start with a claims and objections period in August, then there is no possibility of local government elections being held by the due date of the 1st of August as is stipulated in the bill amended and passed by the 1-seat majority in Parliament. Certainly, all Guyanese except for the few misguided ones in the opposition and led by some in the diplomatic community clearly support the non-assent by His Excellency the President to such a bill, which will clearly offend the Constitution of our country. The PPP calls on GECOM to make a public declaration on this very sensitive issue and to fulfill its constitutional mandate by ensuring that everyone eligible to vote is placed on the official list of electors and that no one be disenfranchised. The second statement reads as follows. The People's Progressive Party extends warm wishes to the Commissioner and ranks of the Guyana Police Force as they celebrate the 175th anniversary of the organization. The force's celebration comes at a time when there is major ongoing reforms to ensure modern-day policing is incorporated into its activities. The People's Progressive Party administration initiated these reforms with the hope that law enforcement is better able to serve the Guyanese people. Over the last 2 decades, the Guyana Police Force has benefited from increased resources provided by the government of Guyana, enabling the ranks to be better equipped to fight crime. The PPP wishes to make it clear that it will continue to support the government's efforts at ensuring that adequate resources are provided to the law enforcement agencies so they can effectively execute their functions to protect the citizenry of our country. The Guyana Police Force has come a long way over the past 175 years and wishes to use, and the PPP wishes to use this occasion to express its satisfaction with the heightened collaboration between the force and communities across the country. We are most encouraged by the efforts of a division commander and his officers as regards the work they have been doing in Alboystown, Agricola, and the Tiger Bay areas. We are extremely happy at the photo splashes in some sections of the media which show, for example, the Guyana Police Force's weekly luncheon at Agricola School, its collaboration with a corporate entity to mount street signs in Alboystown under the force's Impact Alboystown project. We see the youths of our country as extremely important to our future and welcomes any initiative which seek to keep them on the right track. We are encouraged at these initiatives taken by the force to work with young people, which we firmly believe will have a significant impact on the present and future generations. We are also heartened at the work of B Division Commander and the ranks under his charge in that area, including the launch of the 4th Ordnance Youth Group, which was established by the force, and the development of the Association of 4th Ordnance. Further, we salute the commanders, senior officers, and other ranks at all police divisions who have been working quietly to foster better relationship with the residents in their respective divisions. These are all welcoming signs and show that with partnership, anything is possible. Our party believes that this collaboration is a step in the right direction and can only foster a better police-civilian working relationship, hence strengthening the community's confidence in the force. It is our firm view that for far too long, law enforcement and the communities were miles apart, resulting in many unnecessary controversies between the two sides. We salute this approach, taken by at least 3 recent commissioners of police to bring citizens closer to the organization. The party wishes to reiterate its position that working closely with communities is one of the most effective ways in stemming crime, especially at the community level. We have seen over the years the huge impact community policing has had on crime fighting. The PPP wishes to urge both the force and the citizens to continue to work in this harmonious manner, since such partnership can only result in a win-win for all involved. Further, the PPP wishes to congratulate the force for placing heavy emphasis on youths so as to ensure they are kept from going astray. While we are cognizant that there is still more to be done, we are particularly pleased when we saw recent media reports of the Guyana Police Force establishing youth groups in various parts of the country. Thank you.
Thanks, Jess. Now we'll open the floor for questioning. Gary, right on the ball here.
Gary Elliott, veteran. Sir, could you say what the current state of play with the legislation? Because for the holding of local government elections, the law in place says that we have to hold local government elections by December 31, 2013. because the other one was never assented to. And given the concerns you've raised, could you say when does the party realistically see local government elections?
The answer to the first question is that we realistically see local government elections being held when all measures are in place to the satisfaction of the party. We cannot give a time frame because everything depends on GCOM's ability to complete these processes. So we would not want to put any limitations on GCOM's work to complete this process or these exercises. There are a number of things that have to be done. I think we've referred to them from time to time. We have not seen any movement on those issues as yet. And any time frame, any timetables are political in nature. So I would say that we need GCOM to get its act together if we are to seriously speak about the holding of local government elections in this country. And this is not platitudinous. This is factual.
The law. The implications of the law.
Well, I would not wish to comment much on that at this point in time. I think as events unfold, the implications of the law will become more visible.
Sir, 585 constituents, am I right, and 71 geographic areas, am I
Yes.
right? Now, these came about because of the amendments that were eventually made, what, 3 years ago? After they had the passage of the legislation, the up and down and all of this. Now, I can only ask, has the party been pushing GCOM to get its act together, as you say? Or has the party been sitting down and just allowing GCOM to meander along its merry way until it was ready to talk to you?
Well, one thing I can assure you is that the People's Progressive Party is not a sitting down type of party. We are always on the ball. We have written to GCOM representing quite a large number of issues of concern to us. We've had meetings with the CEO, Mr. Lowenfield, and we are following up on the responses that they gave to us having regard to the issues that we represented to them. So we are pretty proactive. We do not believe in laying back on matters important as this.
Therefore, the question of resources, was the government giving GCOM adequate resources to execute these tasks?
I've never heard GCOM express any dissatisfaction about resources not being made available to them, publicly or privately.
Yeah, they got other things.
Any other question?
Yes, sir, for colleagues. I think the colleagues I want to ask, I can jump in again. We were talking about this diamond area. Sir, could you
Is it that they don't want to ask or they taking a cue from you?
Cue from me? I'm here, old man, nobody don't listen to old people. You know them young people today. Sir, the diamond issue. 4,101 registered voters to be broken down into 14 divisions. When was this determined by GCOM?
Well, GCOM has its own internal means of ensuring that every single individual 18 years and above is on the official list of electors. They have to, by virtue of that internalizing of the processes, develop appropriate methodologies to ensure that this happens. If there are differences of views on the methodology to be applied in order to ensure that this takes place, then obviously they can spend an interminable amount of time trying to sort that out. So, like everyone else, in this case, GCOM has its responsibility And therefore, they have to settle on the methodology through which this particular outstanding issue will be settled. That is to say, placing each elector in their respective area so that their name will not be left off the voters list or the official list of electors.
GCOM comprises representatives of the PPP, the PNC, and one member representing generally, I think, is it the WPA, am I right?
I don't know, it's 331.
331. Now, since you have your representatives on GCOM, what were these representatives doing given the pressure by the diplomatic community, the political opposition forces, for there to be local government elections? What instruction were you giving them? What were they saying to the GCOM chairman and to the staff?
Well, you know, in a matter like this, or any other matter of this type, in a structure that is set up in the nature in which GCOM is, in terms of the composition of the commission, I would think that most times the commissioners would seek to arrive at a position on the basis of consensus. Arriving to positions on the basis of consensus require quite extensive discussions so that all the kinks on different sides could be ironed out. I think most times people try to avoid the chairman using his casting vote to settle an issue. And so the search for consensus on matters within GCOM, it would seem to me, must take time. It's not only a question of what the People's Progressive Party has been pressing for, it's what the other side has been pressing for. I assume that the other side, the opposition members on GCOM, have been making cases with respect to issues that have concern to them, in the same way that we've been making cases of issues that have concern to us. And if this particular issue results in both sides not arriving at consensus, then it simply means that they have to continuously go back to the drawing board to try to settle the issue of the methodology. And this, I suspect, is probably the reason why this matter has not been settled so far.
When GCOM tell you it was ready to hold elections, you were saying you don't believe that.
Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Harris. You know, I've been a member of the Elections Commission for many, many years, leading up to the '92 elections. I'm not a stranger to the processes in GCOM or at GCOM. And GCOM can say anything they wish to say. The political party or the political parties must have their say as well. We have a legitimate interest in ensuring that our interests or the interests of our constituencies are effectively represented. So the People's Progressive Party, while it has representatives sitting on the commission, that does not prevent the party from expressing its views publicly on any matter. If the commissioners feel constrained to do so, for one reason or the other, then it behoves the leadership of the party to advert its membership, advert its constituents to its concerns. And that is precisely what we're doing. So, you know, the Masonic Lodge type of culture ought not to prevail here. You have to speak out.
Perhaps we can go on to the police.
incidents too frequent?
They may be too frequent and they may be intolerable, but measured against the progress that the force has made, it depends on which one you like to focus on. Would you like to focus on the negatives, or would you like to focus on the positives, or would you like to focus on both? I think we should focus on both.
Has the frequency in these incidents at all factored into the recruitment process? Maybe a change in who's recruited, how we recruited, what kind of background checks, screening?
I don't think when you look at the numbers that are recruited compared to the frequency of these events and the time which those ranks spent in the force before committing such acts. Take, for example, the cadets. The cadets don't reflect the number of and the frequency with which ranks or persons are recruited in the force. They would have gone a very far way in terms of their training. I'm referring to the ones in the curricular matter. So I think we have to look at this matter in a rather complex way. It's not one measured against the other, that is to say, yes, training is faulty. Yes, it's happening very frequently. It's a little more complex than that. Huh?
Recruitment, the screening process and the recruitment process.
Yes and no. Yes and no. You never know how irresponsible a person would be unless they are given a chance to perform. So I would say that having recruited these persons into the organization, having passed through the Felix Austin training school, and having passed most of the tests or basic requirements for a person to arrive at the stage of either constable or corporal, in the practice of the policing, these things tend to come out. But I don't think you could condemn anyone from the beginning, even while they have been recruited and while they're sitting the entrance exams or the other examinations. And such is life, c'est la vie. As you work your way into the system, these defects and deficiencies surface. When they do surface, well, then you know that you have, as we say nowadays, crossed the line.
Sir, as we are in the police force, the forensic lab, could you say where are we with recruitment, so as to avoid a case with the Ministry of Health where we have a lab where we have facilities to test for chikungunya, but we don't have the personnel to do it? Where are we with personnel for the forensic lab?
Where are we? We are ready to go, in the sense that I can assure you that the forensic lab will never be a white elephant. The staff has already been recruited. As you know, ads were placed in the newspapers for the various ranking of staff. A panel was set up to interview the staff or applicants. Applicants were interviewed. Their names were sent to the public service, approved by the public service, the scale of the salaries that they receive, and the various line positions established as well. They are all in place. They may not be on the site because the lab is not ready to be occupied fully as yet, but they are currently stationed at the building where the project implementation unit of the Citizen Security Program is located at Ogle.
Staff for SOCU.
Hmm?
Where are we with staff for SOCU?
What is what?
SOCU.
What happened with them?
The staffing of the
Staffing
comment.
for the...
The staffing for SOCU? I think it's coming along quite well. I think it's good. Pardon?
We haven't employed anybody as yet.
We haven't employed anybody as yet, but I know applications are coming in. That's what I know. That's the farthest I can say, that applications are already in.
And while we are at it, the police have a direct feed from these cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Have they been able to make any arrests? And there have been some incidents, quite a few incidents as a matter of fact in the city, since the police had a direct feed to these cameras. Have they used them to make any arrests?
Well, I can't say. I mean, that's an operational matter. I think it's for the police to answer a question like that, whether they have been able to make any arrests and why. And if they have, how many? So I think that question may be best put to Mr. Leslie James, who's now the new head of the CID.
All right. Any other?
The Alliance for Change has been, or the Alliance for Change leader rather, has been threatening, or he's saying that he is preparing a statement to lodge with the police against the Minister of Finance for what he is calling illegal spending from the Consolidated Fund. I'm wondering, as Minister of Home Affairs, what is the capacity of the police force to investigate such an allegation?
Well, you said that he's threatening,
No, should he do it?
but you said just that he's threatening.
Yeah, well, he hasn't lodged it as yet. So.
No, I'm focusing on the word threatening.
Oh.
Okay, because Mr. Ramjatan should be the Mr. Ramjatan should be the last to threaten anybody. He should be the last to threaten anybody because, you know, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. And he has a huge glass house around him. He has a huge glass house around him.
No, but should anybody
Let me finish. No, let me finish my line of contention. He has a huge glass house around him, especially respect to the specialty hospital and that matter there.
Take money.
Ask me no questions. I'll tell you no lies.
No, but what I'm trying to get at, should anybody lodge such a complaint to the police?
Uh-huh.
Do they have the capacity to investigate something like that?
The police?
Yeah.
The police has a capacity to investigate any crime. After 175 years, trust me, I would be disappointed under my watch as the Minister of Home Affairs.
But after 175 years, we've had
Chief,
convictions.
man, let me answer the question, please. I am saying that I would be disappointed if under my watch, the police force, after 175 years, wouldn't have the capacity to investigate any crime which they are authorized to do under the Constitution. Because they are the constitutional body that is vested with the authority to investigate any crime. Now let's continue.
You're saying there has been no money laundering in Guyana?
I'm not saying that you are asking another question. You're saying after 175 years
No,
something.
you said no crime.
Pardon?
You said no crime, investigating no crime which you're supposed to... Was there
No,
charge?
any crime.
Well,
Any
I'm
crime.
linking that now to money laundering.
Uh-huh.
Since money laundering legislation has been in place, there's been no...
Investigations into crime doesn't mean success in the investigation. You can start the investigations and you can reach a dead end, but it doesn't necessarily mean that by initiating the investigations, boom, you will arrive at Eureka. So investigating is one step towards solving the crime. You may very well run into a lot of brick walls until such time that as the investigation continues, the brick walls fall apart, and there you have it before you. Eureka.
Yes.
If we could go back to the forensic lab, last week you told the Guyana Times that was set to open this week. I'm wondering if that's still the case or will be further delayed.
You need not wonder anymore. The date is set for the 14th. Yes.
Good. Any other question?
And the lab will provide employment for how many persons?
I don't recall what is the establishment right now, but I think it's approximately 20-something persons.
There's no other question, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Ready?
We do the presentation.
Just right here. Just let me check.
presentation.
These mics will be okay here.
Yeah.
Okay. Can speak.
Yeah, I'll turn the angle to them now.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, General Secretary, parents of the graduates, member of the press, staff of Freedom House, and more importantly, graduates here this morning. We from the People's Progressive Party are very happy for a day like today that we'll be awarding our young, bright, top graduates across the country. And our party have always placed high marks on education. And since we have got into the government in 1992, we have ensured that substantial amount of our budget spent on the education sector. This morning we have decided that we will be awarding our top graduates in the National Grade 6 examination. With me here is our General Secretary. This idea was his idea. Came about, proposed that we should award our young scholar. And at this point in time, I would like to call on our General Secretary to make some remarks. Come on, Rudy.
The parents of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't count now. See that you only can't count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Oh, I can't think you also. Yeah, of these 6 young students who have done so well in the National Grade 6 exams. You know, in our country, there's rarely bright spots. For us who are in the world of politics, we always look out for the bright spots in our country because the bright spots are an indication of the progress that our country is making. And these are positive signs that we feel closely connected to. Each one of these students represent a bright spot in our nation and the future of our country. I'd like to take this opportunity, first of all, to congratulate the parents, and of course the teachers, and of course you who put so much effort into achieving what you have achieved at this recent examination. You know, when we witness activities of this type, and I don't mean this occasion, I mean the results of the exams, apart from what the Minister of Education would have said, and what all others would have said. I think that when we decided to organize this activity, to pay homage to you, because that's what we're doing here this morning, paying homage to you. We see you not only as children of the parents here, but children of Guyana. Children of Guyana. You belong to Guyana in the same way you belong to your parents. And I think many other children around the country feel happy about your success and the results of the exams. So on behalf of our party, we follow these things very, very closely. You don't feel that we're always only in politics. We follow all the events very closely in our country because as a ruling party, we always have to make sure that we formulate the appropriate policies, that we formulate that we know exactly what is happening on the ground in the school systems in every area, so as to help guide the government. as to what it should do and how it should improve the situation in all walks of economic, social, or political life of the country. So we pay very close attention to students who would pass exams, and we pay very close attention to those who would not pass exams as well, because it means perhaps that we might be failing in some areas that we need to improve upon. Maybe there's some areas in the education sector that we need to improve upon. Maybe there's some areas in the teaching profession that we need to improve upon. Maybe there's some areas in the social work that we need to improve upon as well. Because you know, so many children come from single parents, so many children come from broken homes, and so many children come from situations which they have no control over. And so it is the responsibility of the state to ensure that no child, as our minister said, is left behind. So as you march forward, let us remember those who are still lagging behind, who need help. And it's for the government and the state to try our best to help those who are not as bright as you are, but still have very, very serious ambitions and would like to do, or like to be something in life, but will probably take a much longer time than you will. So, congratulations. Shake my hand. And I wish you all the best. And to your parents as well. Congratulations.
All right, just before you take your seat, I will just ask you back there if you could just present these tokens that the party will be presenting to the students. If you could call on Mr. Jarrell DeSantis to come forward, please. Comrade Chelly spoke, Austin Chase, Comrade Janet, and we also have a tablet, these electronic tablets, right, for the students.
Congratulations. Hold it carefully. All the best.
Alia Mohammed.
Congratulations.
Ravi Singh.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Isaac Malampati.
Congratulations.
Annalise Samaru.
Congratulations.
Crystal Singh.
Congratulations.
Thank you all very much. This has brought us to the end of the presentation.
Come closer, a little bit closer.
Good. Ready there? You finished?
Just now.
Okay, just before we break, Mr. DeSantis want to say a word of thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, Chairman. General Secretary, Mr. Roy, parents, students, media. We just want to, on behalf of the parents gathered here, we just want to express our appreciation to the PPP for this very noble gesture. Because indeed, ministers, you said, these children may belong to us, but they also belong to this country. And it's very good to see that they're being celebrated by everybody, and not only by us. So we thank you for this gesture. We hope that you will continue to support them, even as they go on to achieve greater things, not only for themselves, but also for this country. Thank you. Thank you very much.